There's an appetizer that most people just don't seem to make at home, but they're actually fun and easy to make. Spring rolls. Start with some spring roll wrappers and you're already on your way to making some crispy, golden, delicious rolls. Today, we're preparing local rockfish, red Thai curry, and vermicelli spring rolls. I'm Chef Michael Williams, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome to the kitchen. It's called rock cod, Pacific snapper, striped bass, redfish, or ocean perch, but for us, it's rockfish. And the dish, red Thai coconut curry with fresh local rockfish. That's what we're doing. Let's dive in. We're gonna start by getting some flavor bases happening in our pot, okay? We've got a massive, massive shortcut, red Thai curry paste. This stuff is fantastic. Less time, more flavor in here. It's just loaded with all kinds of goodness. But I wanna take it an extra step and start building those flavors even before that paste hits the pan. So let's chop a little bit of veg. Now, the aromatics, the ginger, the shallots, there are base flavors. And for me, I love texture, I love biting into it. So I like to be able to identify everything it is that I'm using vis-a-vis little bites in the finished dish. So instead of having this ginger completely pureed and pulverized and annihilated, I'm gonna end up leaving, I'm gonna do it like a little bit of a fine julienne little technique on it. We're gonna end up with tiny little strips. So I do one slice and then I do another slice. And what that does is it ends up with these beautiful little strips of ginger. And because they are the size they are, they'll caramelize, they'll soften, they'll mellow out, but they're gonna go into our finished dish, and in the end, we're gonna bite these beautiful little caramelized bits. Let's go ahead and just slice some of this shallot. Shallot is another fantastic way to get those flavors going in the beginning. About half of this shallot should be good. And trying to, you may need to go a little bit slower than me and take your time, but just get it as thin as you can. And let's go ahead and get this into the pot. So I've got this beautiful high-rimmed cast iron pot which we're gonna build this in. I'm gonna give it a fairly liberal dose of coconut oil, one of my favorite oils to work with, and one of the flavors we're incorporating into our dish here. So a little bit of ginger and shallot are ready to hit the pan now. There's that sizzle. Now, what I need to do next, once these are caramelized, is add in some of this red Thai curry paste, which again, all kinds of fantastic ingredients in there. Make sure my spoon fits. You need to have a small spoon to fit into there. And then once that curry paste is roasted a little bit in the pan, then we'll get our coconut oil in, or coconut milk, pardon me. So let's go ahead, we're gonna give this a stir here, keep it rolling, keep it moving. Now Thai curries rely heavily on coconut milk, whereas Indian curries are a little bit more about the sauce and the spiciness. So let's go ahead and start building a beautiful palette of colors here. We're gonna start off with some green cabbage. And what I'm gonna do is just cut this into wedges, like so. And I'm actually gonna grill these. I'm gonna hit the grill pan with them and get them get a little bit of extra caramelization and flavor happening. So that can go right onto the grill pan. I might wanna give that a little kiss of oil, so I think I will do that. Just a little drizzle of oil, get some nice action happening in this pan. That replicates the barbecue, right? It's the indoor barbecue. Love it. So we've got some caramelization happening in our curry pot already. Things are looking good. Let's carry on. Here's how you julienne a pepper. Easy way. Let's cut the top and the bottom off. Let's cut it in half like so. And now, let's go ahead and just remove those seeds and veins. I go into the middle like so, and look at that. Nice and easy to work with like that, as opposed to working with that cup-shaped pepper. Right? We'll set those over there for now because we're gonna cut them a different way. And instead of just a straight julienne, I'm actually gonna do a little bit of an angle cut here and then change my angle. Change my angle, change my angle. And we end up with these kind of cute little triangle shape. So that's what we're after there. happy, right? Take your time, slow down, enjoy the process. Let's give this a stir. I think we're actually ready to get our red Thai curry. I almost said something else. I keep mashing my words today. Red Thai curry into the pan. So you can see we've got some beautiful brown shallots happening there. Now, depending on how spicy and potent you like it, will depict how much Thai curry paste you put in. This stuff does have quite a good kick. So in the recipe I'm going to provide for you, you can change it up depending on your spice profile, your spice preferences. Once that curry paste is in the pan, it doesn't need long, maybe a minute or so. Okay? And this coconut milk is now ready to go in. Let's carry on with our veggies. Now that we've got all our coconut milk in there, I might even add just a touch of water. And that'll help me get all of the excess coconut milk left behind in the pan here. There we go. All right. Smells fantastic. All kinds of great stuff coming out of here. This cabbage grilling smells epic. Okay, let's go ahead and get some sliced celery. Now, celery is already a beautiful shape, so all we need to do is just kind of cut it on a bit of an angle, and we get a fantastic presentation out of it that way. Am I right? That looks great. Okay. Some thin sliced red onion. Really quickly, you can do this, you know, a little bit more precise or a little bit more rustic. Just all depends on your preferences. There we go. Another beautiful color, right? Our coconut milk's simmering away over there, so we've got our pepper. Let's go ahead and do the carrots. So I'm gonna grab my peeler, and I'll go ahead and just get this peeled. Great. And now what I wanna do is I wanna cut this like so. And then now you see I make that cut, I flip it down. Now you can just grate these on a cheese grater as well. That's the quick way. But by doing it like this, we end up with this, just one more shape. So there you have it. We've got several different shapes, different action happening. I'm gonna go ahead and get these right into my curry. We'll let them simmer and soften up right in the sauce. And we're gonna be back later in the show to pull together our Thai red rockfish curry. But before that, we're hitting the road. You won't wanna miss this.
Is brought to you by Cold Star Solutions, an integral part of Vancouver Island's grocery supply chain for 20 years.
We're on the road. We just arrived at the Cobble Hill Country Grocer on Vancouver Island. We're here for a tour of the bakery. I can smell it already. Can you? Let's go check it out. Dave, we got quite a lineup here. A lot of beautiful stuff. My mouth's watering. Tell me about your role here as bakery manager at Cobble Hill Country Grocer.
I've been here for about 6 years now. I got a wonderful team behind me, and we're able to produce this beautiful baked goods, and we're all passionate about what we do here. And
yeah, baking stuff from scratch, right? Like, it's big volume here. You guys are a big grocery store, but like these are all made in-house?
These are all made in-house, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and the time and the effort that it takes into producing these, we have qualified bakers and that are up at the crack of dawn to produce these for our customers. It's like, yeah.
You got to keep those ovens rolling, eh?
100% all day long. Beautiful
muffins here. You were telling me something interesting about those guys.
Those are our triple berry muffins, and they the Saskatoon berry filling that's in those is actually, they're produced just down the road from here.
Right.
So I make a phone call, and she's here in 5 minutes with our filling. It's beautiful. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is childhood favorite. Oh my goodness, gotta love Bird's Nest cookies.
Yeah, love them. Yeah, one of my favorites as well.
I'm gonna dig right in here. that is
delightful.
so good.
Delightful, yeah.
Such a light shortbread.
Yeah.
That filling.
The jam,
Nice. Yep.
fantastic. The toasted coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This looks like real sourdough.
That's our artisan style sourdough. It's a 2-day process on that. We bake it at a high heat for a shorter amount of time. So you get that crust, you get the bubbles, and it keeps the inside nice and moist as well without drying it out.
I'm gonna cut into this. Oh, that crust, man.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not gonna be walking out of here.
That is a nice crust. Wow.
So along with that, Mike, we have the artisan style 2-cheese sourdough, which is the sourdough you have there, but we put Parmesan cheese and cheddar cheese on the inside and blend it in, cut it down with a slice of olive oil and put some cheese on top and bake that
Nice.
too.
That's awesome. You know what? This is really good.
Yeah.
That would make a mean sandwich.
We sell a ton of that,
Yeah.
actually. It's crazy. And our brioche hot dog buns.
Those are looking pretty shiny. How do you get such a nice sheen on those?
It's like an egg glaze.
Yep.
Right? So
Yeah.
you bake those at a low heat because it's a high sugar concentration in the dough.
Right.
Right? But you get your added butter and your eggs in there.
Yep.
The texture, the flavor is
Yeah.
just to die for.
Yeah.
You could take a hot dog and gourmet a hot dog.
Right, yeah.
It's like
Well, those are smoky worthy, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our raspberry layer cake right there.
You guys have a whole line of
Our
beautiful
cake
cakes.
decorators are amazing.
Yeah.
And the amount of stuff that they do out there and keep up with,
Yeah.
it's awesome. And our customers come back.
So in this day and age where it's so easy just to bring in those pre-made products, those par-baked products, why? Why are you putting all this work in?
It would be a lot easier to do
would,
that.
eh?
For sure it
Yeah.
would. But in staying true to tradition and baking and having our customers come in and the smells, and they know that the bakers are working hard in the back, creating this amazing product made fresh daily, which is huge. To buy something that was created from simple ingredients that morning.
Speaking of those smells, something smells amazing right now, and it looks like it's coming out of the oven. What is this?
We got our fresh baked pepperoni cheese sticks.
Oh man, another
They
childhood
are
favorite. Look at that.
Absolutely to die for, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm taking one of those home. Can I take one of those home?
I can pass you one right now.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You
This
bet.
has been awesome.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's back into our kitchen. We're bringing together our red Thai curry with local rockfish. You saw everything coming together in the first segment here. I want to add a little bit of extra flavor to this in 1 second. We've got some black rice, which makes for fantastic garnish. The grilled cabbage is ready to go in there. So lemongrass, really beautiful flavor. I'm gonna cut this lemongrass in half lengthwise. It's really tough, really fibrous, so you gotta get a really good puree on lemongrass if you're gonna incorporate it into the finished dish. So one of the techniques is just to kind of bash it up and bruise it a little bit, release those essential oils, and then just let it kind of infuse into whatever it is you're cooking. Now, local rockfish, one of my favorite fishes. It's my go-to. One thing you do need to do is identify where the bones are. So I can feel them. They stop about there. So I need to cut this little section out. Just score that area there, get those bones out. And all we do is cut this into cubes now. As we get bigger chunks, I'm not going to be too concerned about it because as they cook, they'll probably break down a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this into our pot. It's going to steam right in the pot with everything else. In goes that rockfish. Yeah, how good does that look? In goes the cabbage. I'm just going to grab the cabbage right out of the pan here. Those beautiful grill marks. We are laughing. Okay, so we've got that lemongrass, which we're gonna need to pull out afterwards. So don't forget about that. In the meantime, let's get the lid on this and let the steam do its work. Now, I need to wash up because I did my little fish thing there. So we'll get rid of this, grab a new board. Anytime you're working with your proteins, you wanna make sure you wash up, of course. Food safety is everything. So, I'm about to dive back into this, but I've just realized I forgot all about the spring rolls. Dan, do you have some? Can you help me out?
You betcha, Mike. Here you go.
Thanks, brother. You saved me. This is Dan. He's been behind the scenes all season, killing it. Thanks, brother.
No worries.
All right, so I'm gonna show you guys really quick, how to bring this together, a spring roll. Dan's got some made up for us already, but all we do now, A little bit of vermicelli noodles. We've seasoned these up. Don't worry about the details. They're all gonna be there, countrygrocer.com, in the show notes on Check's website. We've got the vegetables and some roasted mushroom. I mean, the possibilities are endless with this. There's so many things you can put into a spring roll. So now all it's a matter of is making sure it's rolled up nice and tight, that we fold those edges over, and we bring it in right to the end. I've got a little equal parts flour and water here, which seals it for us. Boom. Okay, so these are ready to hit hot oil. I'm gonna deep fry these right on my stove top. I have a pot that's just half filled with oil, and it's probably just bang on temperature. I'm kind of, you know, I know this. I know the ins and outs of this. Always practice safety with hot oil though. Actually, you know what? This curry needs another minute or two. I'm gonna let it do its thing. It's rolling at a nice simmer. Now I just put my tongs into there, which has moisture. Never, ever combine moisture and hot deep frying oil. So I dried these off really well so that I can remove the spring rolls. They're ready. That's how quick it goes. That is if your oil's as hot as mine was. All good though, that inside's cooked. All we're looking for is a nice crispy outside. These are beauty. Couple of last flavor ingredients before we start plating up here for our curry. I've got some rice here, which we can plate up right away. Love this black rice because it really just adds a great color contrast on the plate. You can use any rice you have on hand, but if you want to do something a little fancy, this black japonica rice is fantastic, one of my favorites. Let's add a couple final details to our curry. A little bit of extra sweetness, a little bit of extra sour. So some lime juice. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go with the whole lime. Love that tart. It's all about balancing the flavors. Now we've got lots of heat in there, right? So because we've got that heat, a little bit of honey is gonna make this just sing. I promise you, it's gonna start singing. All right. I cannot even put into words how delicious this smells. Give this a stir, and this is now ready to get into our bowls. All of those veggies, the fantastic flavors, the colors, right on. Oh, hey, now we'll use our basil for garnish. That's what we'll do. I'm gonna grab my spoon so I can dish this up, and I'm just gonna go ahead. Let's dive into this. Those big chunks of local red rockfish. Someone's gonna have to navigate that big piece of cabbage there, but that's okay. This is a rustic, beautiful dish. We have all the makings for mouth-watering food here. Now you can see that that lemongrass is still in there. I'll make sure that I don't scoop that up into our dish. Okay. A couple of spring rolls on each plate. And then the last way we're gonna finish this off, fresh herbs. I'm just gonna rough chop this Thai basil, which is a fantastic complement to any Thai curry. There we have it, folks. Local rockfish red Thai curry with vermicelli spring rolls.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
When you put the effort in, build the flavors, create a delicious recipe, you gotta have a fantastic pairing to go along with it. Andrea, you're here to help us do just that. Sandhill Wines, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Right on. So I kind of, yeah, absolutely. I gave you a little bit of a heads up on what I was gonna make for you today. A red Thai coconut curry, so a lot of richness, a lot of big bold spices. I've had a little bit of lime juice and some honey, rockfish. How did you decide to pair that up?
So I have chosen for you our Sovereign Opal wine.
Okay.
Which is quite a rare wine. We're the only producers in Canada of this grape.
Okay.
And the reason I've chosen it is a little bit off dry, and it pairs really, really well with spicy fare. Also with the honey and the fish, it's going to go perfectly,
cool.
I believe.
I'm excited to try this. Can we?
Shall I pour it?
Yeah, please. So Sovereign Opal?
Sovereign Opal.
Sovereign Opal,
So
okay.
Sovereign Opal is extremely rare as it's a hybrid grape.
Yeah.
It's a cross-pollination of orange muscat and Marechal Foch. So not
okay.
something you would ever see. It's quite rare.
It smells delicious.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. I could enjoy that.
Isn't that good?
Very, very tasty.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's see. Let's have some food and see how that pairing really does match up. Now, I didn't make it too spicy. I wasn't sure how you like it. You could always bump that spice up, but lots of flavors going on there, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's just right that, you know, the way that cleanses the palate and brings you to want another bite of
Absolutely.
the curry, right? So
Yeah.
fresh, refreshing, delicious. You nailed it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome.
That's
so
delicious.
Tell us a little bit more about Sandhill Wines.
So Sandhill is located in the Okanagan Valley. We have vineyards in the Okanagan Valley and also the Similkameen Valley.
Okay.
The Okanagan Valley, as you know, gets very hot.
Yeah.
Temperatures up to 40 degrees. So we actually have more sunlight hours than Napa Valley. So it's
Oh, wow.
amazing growing conditions for the grapes,
Yeah.
which is how we produce such amazing wines up there. Yeah, so the Sovereign Opal we're the only producers in Canada of this grape.
That's pretty cool.
It's a really unique grape.
Yeah.
And then something else to note about Sandhill is our winemaker Sandy is really good at producing Italian grapes.
Okay.
Which is also rare to the Okanagan.
Yeah.
So we have a Sangiovese and a Barbera, which is pretty rare,
Yeah.
and they are amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're pretty much on the map, I would say, with some unique wines,
Yeah.
some old favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great.
That's cool.
It's a great winery. It's
I
been
like
there.
that. I love the story. I love the uniqueness, the rareness, and I tell you what, I'm going to go buy me a bottle of this. This
It's
is
good, isn't it?
delicious.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for having me. It's been really great.
Check out our website where you'll find the lowdown on today's show. I'm Chef Mike, and don't forget, dinner's better when we enjoy it together.
So great.
Right?